Which will it be? Which will it be? Place your bets. Place your bets. Snow carving, not yet. That's probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. She's still test printing. She didn't get quite through. We haven't got a good finished print to show you yet. She's really struggled yesterday. Really, really struggled. This is going to be a tough project this year. It's really going to be a tough project. She went home last night not so happy. It was a bit funny because she normally, Sugi-san, you know, she came in yesterday morning. You saw her here. She went up to do test printing. I was with her up and down, up and down, up and down all day long. And she struggled. This is a more difficult print with her for a number of reasons than she's ever made before, even though it's small and simple. So when she went home last night, I was here in the shop and I didn't see her go. She came down and left without saying goodbye to me. She usually, you know, says something. And after I realized she'd gone, I went upstairs. Did Sugi-san leave already? Yeah. Why didn't she? Wasn't feeling so good. So when I see her again on Monday, I got to chat about it. She wasn't feeling good because she didn't do such a good job. But this is a wonderful opportunity. I mean, when you're faced with new challenges and new difficult things you've never done before, this is how you grow. It sounds a bit silly to say that, but it's true. But at the point, she wasn't happy. But I looked at her desk this morning and the sample prints, and they're going to be okay. We are going to be all right with this, but it's going to be a way before she can get through it. The print is going to look fine. It's not going to look the same as Jed's sample. What was difficult for her yesterday was a few things. Anytime we're doing test printing, compared to normal printing you do one color for 50 prints, 100 prints. By the time you get back to the beginning of the batch for the next color, the paper has settled down and it's sorted out and it's a bit ready for another printing. But when you're doing test printing, you've only got 3 or 4 sheets. You print one color, bang, 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 bang. Now let's see, what should I do next? Bang, 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 bang. The paper quickly gets saturated. It quickly gets overworked and beaten up. That's why even in our print parties, we take a break after three impressions, give them some coffee before we continue. So doing test printing is difficult. You're always oversaturating, overdriving the paper. And there are ways to avoid that, but she doesn't quite have a whole lot of experience yet. So the finished prints she made are oversaturated and wet, and the colors are a bit blurred. It's difficult to get a clean looking image. So that was part of the problem. The other part of the problem is, we pop up the image here. There's a hugely, hugely, hugely difficult thing on this print, and that's these back gradations. What you see here is an orange glow in the middle of the print coming up and down. And in the top, the sky has a gradation coming down over front of the temple. And then the bottom has a gradation coming up. And this is all on the same block, all on the same sheet of paper. And this is tough. To do a gradation at both ends is really tough. She's never done this before. The question is, do you do the top half of the orange, then the bottom half of the orange, but you get a line in between? It was tough, and she didn't really succeed well yesterday. No problem. We're going to work out how to do it and get through it. So we'll get there, but it's going to take a little while. Did I take the paper out for the tea lady? I did. Thank you very much for reminding me. It is. As soon as I got out of my shower this morning, I headed straight for the freezer and took it out. The gradations are proving difficult. Yes. Sugi-san will do it, so there's no sweat, but she wasn't feeling so happy. But, anyway, so that's the news on that one. So I didn't want to take the blocks from her at the moment to do the snow, because we really aren't quite clear exactly how some of these are going to work. We may have to actually split one of the blocks into 2 sections. Did I put clothes on first? No, I didn't actually, but who cares? Nobody was there to watch. Okay, let me get to work here. Where are we going here? I guess we can pop this image out of the way here. We don't need this anymore at the moment. Do we have a fridge here? Oh, yeah. I should find a place to put. Can't really see it, can you? Is that better? Well, fridge is here. We brought it. I am downstairs at the moment. You're a bit confused. Downstairs or upstairs? How many blocks on this print? There are 4 pieces of wood, both all carved on both sides. It's going to be 8 impressions on this. Four pieces of wood, both sides. And it's good. So the bad news on the subscription print, it needs more work, is good news for this one. That means I've got more time to work on this. So let's do that. You know that some of the staff members here were off for the past few days. They were up in Kyoto on a sort of a study visit. Aoyama-san was up there, Kawai-san, Suga-san, who we just talked about. They were all gone for a few days up in Kyoto. It turned out they also, not just Kyoto, they went up to Fukuiken. They visited Iwano-san, our main paper maker. And it is a funny, Suga-san told me a funny thing when they got back the other day. Suga-san said, you know, when we were in Iwano's workshop, we got to see him working. They did a demonstration for us and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's nice. You know, we've seen this before, but good. And she said, while we were there, it's just an interesting coincidence, they were making our next batch of paper. We've ordered, you know, we have paper ordered with Iwano-san all the time. And we have a batch of paper. If we go back, what's this now? It's now December. So somewhere in, I think, August or September, I ordered quite a lot of paper from them. 500 sheets of this type, 500 sheets of another type, 300 sheets of another type, etc., etc. And the 500 and 500 were delivered over the past couple of months, but there's still an extra 300 sheets of our largest type of paper, which is supposed to be here before the end of the year. So when I heard her say that they are making our paper, I wasn't surprised. This is exactly on schedule. We should be receiving it soon from them. But I told her, oh, really? So that means it'll be here like next week or so, right? And she said, yeah, they said they're going to send it next week. And she was really happy to tell me this. And then I said, that's great. I'm really happy too. But you understand that this, for you personally, this is not such good news. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, this is a really expensive batch of paper. When it comes next week, I'm going to have to pay them. And I think I said, I can't remember the exact number because I don't know it till I see the bill. It'll be about 700,000 yen, which is about whatever, $6,500 or $7,000, somewhere around there, whatever. And she's like, well, it's that much? I said, yeah, it's okay, whatever. That's the normal cost for paper. But then she said, why is it bad news? Why is it bad news for her? And it's because of the cash situation for us at the end of the year. We're coming up to the end of the year, and as we have in last year and some other recent years, whatever money we've got left at the end of the year is how we calculate, the staff, the extra payment for the staff at the end of the year. I hesitate to call it a bonus because it's not something official like that. But whatever our cash situation is at the end of the year determines how much these guys get. And with a bill for $7,000 coming next week, it means the pool is going to be shallower. And she's like, yeah, it can't be helped, What I'm doing here, I'm outlining the whole area first, all on the inside. See with the highlighter colors, that's the wood that will be left. Then there's areas like this where the wood will be taken away. And we'll be taking away the wood in the anemone type areas. But what I'm doing first is just getting rid of the octopus skin. We're just outlining the area in general first. I'll probably do some persuading on it. And then when we've just got the rocks and seaweed area left, then I'll go inside that. and clear out what needs to be cleared out. But it's too confusing. If I try and do everything at the same time, try and do all the outlining and then all the interior cutting, it's a bit too confusing to see what I've done and what I haven't done. So step one, just cut the outside lines of the whole zone first. Clear the zone. So what kind of conversation over here? Yeah, this next subscription series is a night and day. It's twice as difficult. Oh, I can't put a number on it, but it's way, way more difficult. Jed and I, we made the deal 8 impressions, 4 pieces of wood max. We've already broken that rule. This is 8 sides, but because of those numbers of gradations, it's going to be 10 or 11 or perhaps 12 impressions actually. So we've already broken our rule. It's not so bad because quite often with a series like this, the first print is sort of a spectacular one to get the series up and running. But it's head and shoulders different from last year. I don't know if we're going to get in trouble right from the beginning, but whatever. Jump off the board into the deep end and start paddling. You know. It's the only way to get anywhere. If we sit there nibbling and try to decide what to do and should we paddle around in the shallows for a while, no. You just got to freaking jump in with the pool. But I've got to get that sample print done so that I can get a web page made and start getting orders. I think there'll be orders. I think there'll be people interested in this. But it's all going to depend on the price too. The price. I don't know what to do on that. Okay, there's the outline done. Excuse me. Still got my annual fall cough here. Okay, what's next? Let's just start at one end and get in there. We had a great day in the shop yesterday. It was really good fun. We had 3 parties. I ended up running 2 of them, and the attendees were fun and good results. Fooling around a lot, not too serious, but doing a good job. It was really good fun. Just classic, perfect print parties yesterday. The microwave is really, really turning out to be fun. You know, I really. I'm sad now that I procrastinated so long. I was really afraid that people wouldn't be able to do it. And it's come out okay. I mean, because of our preparation, we really prepared well, and the staff has learned now how to get people through those 2 gradations without too much disaster. But boy, oh boy, we have to be vigilant. Even after describing well, even after the people that have practiced a first gradation, they get to that second gradation and still, even the smartest people, they still end up maybe flipping the brush around backwards or something, but they get through it, and they're so happy when they get to the end and they see the print they've made. What kind of party paper for the print parties? We use a simple washi. We use a student grade washi for the print parties. There's no way we use our living national treasure hand rock paper for a couple of reasons. One is it's too expensive for a print party, and second is it's too difficult to use for a beginner. The kind of paper we use in the print parties is a machine-made flat washi paper. It doesn't even really look like washi in terms of when you hold it up to the light. It's a smooth paper, but it has the important characteristic of washi paper that it absorbs the pigments up into the body of the paper. Pigments don't sit on the front surface, which is essential for this kind of printmaking. And it's the only way we can do it. You can't pay $50 for a print party if we had real washi in it. So the print parties run with a student grade washi paper. Other questions? I saw 2 or 3 questions here, but I can't look back and forth too much, I don't know. You're talking about air flights. I'm sorry, I don't know. Has work started on the New Year print that I teased last week? I know, yes and no. I know I've got a Photoshop file open. I've got some ideas on the table. I've got a rough concept for the print. I'm not ready to get it at the carving stage yet. I know hopefully I'll do that over the next few hours. Actually, it's my job for today. We don't have too many print parties today, and we have 3 staff. So Nakamura-san and Kawai-san and Koizumi-san are going to handle the parties today. And I am supposed to be sitting at my desk getting a design finalized for the New Year's card. And if I can get it to a simple enough concept, then we will pull the switch and set up that stream for Tuesday, where we do a live stream making the New Year's card. If. That's what I'm supposed to do today. We'll see. So there might be some posts tonight on media, Facebook and stuff, Insta, whatever, if I can get that happening today. Okay, see what I'm doing here with this, with these mountains. They're not mountains, the seaweed stuff. Inside lines are being cut sharp with the knife, and the outside of this stuff, I'm beveling it. It's all just being beveled with this. I'm not cutting it sharp with the end of the knife. If I get the original here, hang on a sec, if I can find the image. So we talked about this yesterday, for those of you who were yesterday. The original here has the yellowish seaweed sort of stuff, and it's blurred. The edges of the seaweed line are blurry, and they didn't cut it quite sharp with a knife. So I'm doing it my way, the same thing here. I'm using the knife here to just bash up the edge a bit rather than cut it straight. But having said that, we saw yesterday, the right-hand side of this print and the left-hand side, the yellow's different. It's a bit lighter color on this side, it's a bit darker color on this side. And the carver and or the guy who preferred the rough sketches did this a different way. On the right-hand side, it's all this blurry edge. And on the left-hand side, it's a zigzag, clearly cut line. Different people worked on these blocks. It was a quick, dirty, get it out the door, quick book production job. And for fun, I'm going to do it the same way, of course. This is going to be a good talking point about this print. Even though my print is going to be joined together into one image, I think I'll do the same thing. On this area, I will carve it blurry. On this part, I'll carve it sharp and zigzag. And I've got to figure out where it goes, and that's going to be somewhere on that print here. I'll get a pencil. I'm going to make my notes. It's going to be somewhere around here. In the original, it was the top of this rock here, right where it split. So on mine, it's going to be somewhere about here. That's where the original print was on two different blocks. So I'm going to carve blurry up to this point and zigzag, zigzag from this point. If nobody notices, that's fine, but we'll also make it a talking point when we're chatting about the print. Multiple people worked on these prints. It wasn't a one-man, one block, or one-man, one image job. Multiple teams worked on this. Oh, something else I meant to mention. I made a small change in software systems last night. Not last night, 2 nights ago. We put up on Friday. We put up a special item in the flea market. And it turned out that it was quite popular and it disappeared right away. And there was a problem because Cameron had posted about it on Instagram. And it was some time before I was able to get him to make an update that it had sold. So the problem was we put something in the flea market and excuse me, and publicized it, and it sold right away. And what that meant was we had switched it from active status in the flea market. We had switched that item to sold, which meant it disappeared from the flea market because after things sell, they're gone from there. And it was a real problem because over the next few hours, people followed the Instagram point that Cameron had made. They went to the flea market and couldn't find the item because it was actually already sold. And I got a few emails. Oh, that's for today. I better check and see what time it is. Hang on a sec. It's a 1 o'clock party for today, 2 o'clock. Good, they're filling up. As of last night, there were no parties for today, and now there are 3 scheduled. So that's the way it's going, day by day. People are making last-minute choices. Anyway, I forget now what I was talking about. Yeah, flea market. So the problem was, once things become sold, they disappear from the flea market. And I got emails from people saying, where's that item? I'm interested in looking at it, the one Cameron mentioned on Instagram. So what I did was I went back and reprogrammed part of the shopping cart system, that there's a new category in the flea market now of recently sold items. So hopefully when people go there and follow such a link, there's a new item in the flea market, and if it's not there, hopefully they'll have the sense or the idea to look in the recently sold items, and it'll show up there. So that's something new. If you're on the flea market section at the very bottom of the page, on the footer, showing what print categories are there, there's a new category now that says sold. And it shows things that are sold within the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if that'll help or not. I'm not sure how else to do that. It's not like our normal catalog where we've got the same print, so the print, even when somebody buys it, the print stays in the catalog. But the flea market can't work that way because these are unique items. So I'm not sure what else I might be able to do about that. Is it okay for time? No problem. Oh, early. Did I put a timestamp for when it was sold? Not sure what you mean. Yeah, I mean, of course, Cameron could give me the Instagram password, but it's still, the same point is still there. It's still, even though I can change the Instagram post to mention that it's gone, it still doesn't solve the problem of the people who went to this link after it was sold, and the link no longer there. And what we didn't want to do, we didn't want to have people go to the flea market, see the selection of stuff, click the link, and it then says on that page, this item is sold. Because crap, half the things you were clicking on would then be sold. That would be frustrating. So the flea market index pages just show what's available. Have I missed any zones? I think I'm okay. You see what's happening here, right? We're pulling out the anemone things. And then we're pulling out all these highlight parts. These are the top surface of each rock, which is getting a light highlight. And they're all like this. They're cut sharply on the top. And they're cut with a bevel on the bottom. Nothing from me, I guess. Okay, you guys chat. Sorry, I'm trying to watch both the same way here, but looks like you're doing okay by yourself there. think we're right. Yeah. Oh, my mother's in here this morning, is she? Good morning, good morning. How you doing? Our friend is here this morning, did you notice? Leeds. Before my time, hey, I don't remember much about that part of the world at all. Right, there's our dividing line. Eh? Everything on this side has been that style. Now we're going to change to a bit of a different style on this side. The anemone thing's going to be the same. We're going to still cut out the shapes of the anemones. But the edges, or the outside edges, maybe the ones inside here don't have so much difference, but the outside edges of the seaweed thing here are going to get a zigzag pattern. Let's have another look at the original here. Well, the ones inside, they're kind of hidden. There's no clear definition here. Well, these are zigzag. I think pretty much everything's a zigzag now. Yeah, he's cut them all sharply. They're all cut with a knife. So we're trying to copy. It's just this one zone right here. The whole right-hand side of the print, above the octopus and below the octopus, are all done with the same style. It's just this one zone. Where am I on the camera? Just this one zone here, where they're cut sharp. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. It's funny. You know, I noticed it before too, but the anemone shapes are actually different too. Even though I carved these, the anemone shapes on the left they all have 4 or 5 leaves, but they don't match in the center. But these ones have all come, he's joined them up in the center. I mean, I carved this, I should have remembered that. But clearly different carvers, left side and right side of this print. You know. When it gets to the text, it'll be interesting, because I suspect the text was all done by the same guy, even though it was on 2 different blocks. But we'll see. When I get that far, we'll have a look at it. We're told that in any given workshop, there was one of the guys specialized in text. So anytime there was text on a print, it was passed over to that guy to do the work. And then, of course, as far as publishing books goes, there were people, that's their job. They just simply carved text all day long. That was their only job. They were lettering carvers, specialists. What a job. Incredible. All day long, carving those tiny letters, you know. Lots of action out there, eh? Taxis from the hotel across the street. I don't know. Some kind of meeting, some kind of get together. Maybe it's for the kimono rental shop next door. I don't know. Customers lining up. No idea. Dozens and dozens of young girls. Oh boy, conversations. I'm missing most of this. Sorry. Yeah, I'll have breakfast. No, I haven't had breakfast yet. Didn't have a chance this morning, so. it would be a great idea. Thank you. Unfortunately, timing. It's okay. I'm all right. I had a good dinner last night. I know Kawai-san printed late last night. So around, I don't know, 8:30 or so. I ran late in the shop too. We had a big day in the shop. It was staggeringly big day in the shop yesterday. So whatever, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I don't even remember. I shut the shutter. He finished his printing upstairs and we head out for dinner together. I know on nights when some of the staff stays late, we go out for dinner together. And we went down the road towards one of the regular places and we noticed that one of the restaurants we pass, we don't normally go in. There's a bunch of Indian restaurants around here, all different kinds of Indian restaurants, casual curry, deep curry, whatever. And not so much my taste actually, whatever, I'd go there, but I wouldn't choose if there's somewhere else nearby to go nice. Anyway, one of the local Indian restaurants was gone. And in its place was something, it said Iroriya. Irori is a Japanese hearth, the old hearth in an old farmhouse. It's the part where there's a hearth where they do the boiling water and stuff like that. People huddle around it to try and keep warm. So we thought, looking at the sign, Iroriya, a new place, we thought it was maybe going to be like traditional Japanese food or whatever. We decided to open and go inside. It's not. It's a kind of the subtitle said, what did it say? It said basil and spices and something. I forget what it said. I don't know. And whatever, we sat down, looked at the menu, and it's not. It's some sort of trattoria type place. They do rotisserie chicken and pastas and whatever. So anyway, we're hungry, so we order some stuff. And we just, it's the kind of place where you can't eat by yourself because the dishes are single dishes and they're too big. And you can only eat there when there's two or three or four people to share stuff in. So we got this salad and a chicken and whatever and shared it. And it was okay, but it was just kind of, whatever, kind of pretentious, whatever. The food was all right, kind of tasty. We spent too much. It turns out that we won't be going back there again because for two guys casually eating after dinner, eating after a job before Kawai-san goes home on a subway, we don't want to spend $60, which is what it turned out to be last night. So we won't be going back there again. And it's the wrong kind of restaurant for Asakusa. It's the kind of restaurant that should be over in, I don't know, Omotesando or Ginza or somewhere like that, where people are happily going to pay $40, $50 a head for it's a nice meal. I guess it was worth it, but it's not worth it for Asakusa. It's really funny that how much you would pay for a meal and what kind of ambience you expect. And what they've done is it's got an Asakusa kind of ambience, this place. The floor was a bit kind of not so clean. The furniture was used furniture they've dragged in from somewhere else. The staff didn't pay any attention to us. He was a kid that couldn't care less whether we were there or not. So we won't be going back again, even though the food was kind of nice. But we paid more than we want to pay for a dinner together, two of us. You know. But whatever, if you don't try new places, you don't end up discovering anything new, so. Okay, for this spiky one now here, this is going to be the spiky one. I'm going to clear out first. It's difficult to carve spikes like this when the other wood is in the way. So I'm first going to take my chisel here and just rip off some of the outside wood. Just get it out of the way. How much do we normally spend? When I go out for dinner myself here in Asakusa, I try to go to a place where you can eat as a single person without having this idea about picking from multiple dishes, you know. And that means either you go to what's called a teishokuya, which means set meals. And for a set meal, you get a center dish, then some rice and soup and salad on the side, or whatever, that kind of stuff. So you order a single price set meal, and you choose your options. It might be rice or bread or what kind of centerpiece you want, stuff like that. And that's called teishoku. And that's the perfect place for a single person going out to eat by himself. You don't have to worry about sharing and stuff like that. And for a teishoku around here, normally it would be around anywhere from 800 yen to 1,000 yen to 1,200 yen, somewhere around there. Then if I get a beer on the side, that's going to add anywhere from 300 to 500 yen for a beer on the side. So for me, going out by myself for a casual dinner at an easy restaurant around here in Asakusa, I would spend probably 1,500 yen. So when Kawai-san goes with me, we go to this kind of place, we end up spending 3,000 yen. And last night it was double that. But the idea is you're paying for more of a higher class feeling, you know, whatever. Okay, wastewood is out of the way. I can now see the zone where we want to cut some of these teeth, jagged teeth, and let's go for it. It's like hair carving, but in a giant, giant pattern. Couple of favorite places we go have closed recently. There's one we used to go, maybe more, quite frequently, once every couple of weeks, a place called Origin. It was a Teishoku-yasan, and it's closed now, and what's replaced it is a chain, Tendon. Tendon is the place where you have like a deep fried shrimp or something on top of a bed of rice, or deep fried food of different types on top of a bed of rice. I don't know. And this Tendon place, and it's unusual for Japan, there's a menu outside, and there's a giant sign outside that says, in many languages, it says in English, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean, it says cashless. And they don't take cash at all, period. And this is the first time I've ever seen this in Japan. I think in other countries, maybe there's a switch changing to this kind of a business bit by bit. And it's extremely unusual here in Japan. I've never seen that before. It's usually the other way around. You'll find restaurants and bars and stuff that don't take credit cards, and then you have to pay by cash. But this one was cashless. It's either a credit card or your Suica train card or whatever kind of card you've got, a Pasmo, whatever, or Union Pay or QR codes or whatever. They were fixed up with pretty much every kind of payment system under the sun for the tourists. Cashless. Is clear. Are there any Portuguese restaurants? I have no idea. I suppose downtown, somewhere next to the Portuguese embassy, there's probably a Portuguese restaurant. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. Korean hot dogs, yeah, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. Things are settling down there a bit. There's a bit of a standoff happening. They've got their seats on the sidewalk still. They've got their big inflatable statues still. They're blocking the sidewalk. But the guy next door in the fish restaurant is pushing back quietly. This is not the way I would do it, but this is Japan. He's pushing back quietly. He's put a sign outside his restaurant. And it says, essentially, it says, don't block the sidewalk, please. Keep the sidewalk clear so that people can see my business. And you shouldn't have to do that, but it's there. And now, so kids who are standing around chewing the hot dogs are now avoiding his place. So they're still clustering right in front of the Korean restaurant, but the cluster no longer pushes in front of the next door's restaurant. So he's got a clear space in front of him now. So the problem for him is that sidewalk, there's no longer people walking down the sidewalk because of the cluster of hot dog eaters. Pedestrians are now out in the street. So, it's still a negative for him because they don't pass right by his menu sign. But at least it's manageable at the moment. So there's a standoff. I missed the meeting. There was a meeting last Tuesday between all the shop owners and stuff. Cameron went to it instead of me. I was out in Ome getting my hair cut. To make the nori paste, what brand of rice flour do you use? Whatever we buy at the supermarket, rice flour, it's a package of rice flour. I don't really even know what it says. These days, here in the workshop here, we're not making rice paste every day. We're using commercially prepared rice paste. But when I was making it back home in Ome, I really don't know what it was. We go to the supermarket and there it says fine grind rice flour. I don't know, just normal stuff, I'm sorry. I wouldn't worry about it too much. You need just a basic starch paste. It could be from anything. I think the specific food content or whatever is almost irrelevant, I think. It's the texture of the thing that's important. So you want the particular texture to help smooth out the color. And you want something that's not going to be dangerous once it's left inside the print. Other than that, I don't really think it matters too much, the gluten or whatever. How much stickiness is a factor, but we handle that at the point of printing. We dilute the stuff like crazy. If I'm printing a block that needs a stickier feeling, we leave it, we leave it strong, or we'll throw water in and make it almost watery, case by case, block by block, as you go along during the day. So there's no standard texture for the rice paste that we're using. You adjust it and adapt it as you work during the day, depending on each block you're doing, Here in the print party room, we keep the rice paste fairly thick because people don't know how to press well. Almost everybody who's printing here in the print party room is not using enough pressure. They're printing very lightly and delicately, even though we tell them, come on, small tight circles, push down, push down. They don't have enough experience to do that. So if the rice paste was too watery, then the impressions from the blocks in our print party room would just be too weak and blotchy. So we keep the paste fairly thick, and that helps a good impression even when there's not quite enough pressure involved. But if we ourselves were printing with paste that thick, the paper would tend to stick to the block too much. So there's no single rule, there's no single style, there's no single taste for it. It's all changeable bit by bit during the day. Whatever, just try it. Until you get experience, you don't know. Is that its own fish? Was another bit of an in the middle here. Okay, moving on, next zone. What you is some of your papers have been tearing when peeling. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I'm sorry. Not quite sure what you mean. Paper has been tearing when you're peeling. So. Oh, here we go. Somebody's arriving. What's the time here? It's Kawai-san. He recovered from his dinner last night. 9:16. Look at that. We're getting there. My God. The first half of this stream seems to go really slowly. It goes to 8:30 or so. And then all of a sudden, click, clock clicks round to 9:16 from 8:30 directly. So I better think about what's happening then. Today is a Sunday. It'll be a normal day in the shop here. Pretty quiet for parties, although reservations are coming in as we speak. So tomorrow's stream, Monday morning stream, there will be a stream tomorrow, and it will be one of two things. I will either be carving the snow dots on the first print for next year's subscription series, or I will be continuing right here with this block here on the Octopus. It'll be one of those two things tomorrow morning. And then I'll have an announcement, I guess, ready later this afternoon sometime. Watch our Facebook page or Insta or maybe our own blog. And I hope, if I can get it together, I hope that we'll be able to prepare for another, what do we call those streams? The other long streams where I make a whole print start to finish. What we're going to try and do later today is get my design ready for the New Year's card. And then on a special stream on Tuesday, if I can get it ready, we'll have a special stream on Tuesday, Monday night for most foreigners, where we'll do the carving of the New Year's card and test printing of the New Year's card. We'll have a single long stream. Me and Cameron will do it again together. I've sort of semi-announced it now, so I've got to get this up and running, but I still don't have the image, so I can't promise it. That's the current thinking. I will try and get it ready for this, to have a special stream on Tuesday. I've put myself under the gun now by sort of announcing it, so I've got to do it. But honestly speaking, I still don't have a design ready that I can do. Remember that previous one we did last year, show? It was a simple 2 block, 1 color block and 1 very, very small key block. And I don't know if I can come up with a design for a New Year's card that is that simple that I can do it in a couple of hours, and yet that looks like a decent woodblock print to send out. It's not a trivial point, you know, it's very, very difficult. That's why I've been struggling with it the past few days. I have a concept for it, but to get it worked out, to be simple enough that I can do it without panicking and rushing and crapping myself through it. So anyway, we'll see. Hopefully, if I can work that out over the next few hours. But anyway, tomorrow will be a normal stream, carving snow or carving octopus, one or the other, seaweed. bangs that door every time. Boom! この窓じゃないよ。Say hello, come and say hello. I was chatting with the stream about 昨日の新しいレストラン行った話ですね。そう結構美味しかった。
うん、いやそうですね、チキン結構
チキンそうでも高いいつもより倍ぐらいですねいつも2人で3000円ですね昨日倍ですからあんまりでもまあそう予約入ってます夜の間と今何分前にも今ストリームやってる間にもそうLike about printing paper on test prints sticking to the block, then clearly you've got the wrong kind of paper or you've got way too much nori, way too much glue. There should be nowhere near as much nori that the printing paper sticks to the block at all. But if you're using a Japanese washi, if you're using a normal copy paper, it will stick to the block all the time, but that's a different problem. Okay, let's get out of here. It's now 9:24. We've got parties this morning. I've got to help the guys get the shop organized. And then I've got to spend the rest of this afternoon doing my normal work, plus also trying to figure out how to get a New Year's card design ready. So, okay, thanks very much, guys. So see you tomorrow. Either snow carving or more octopus carving, and then maybe we'll have a special stream on Tuesday. Thanks very much. Signing off. See you then. Did you catch it, Kawai-san? There's two of them, Risho. What time? Party.
1時と2時ですね。
じゃあ10時ないですね。
10時はない。
Good. Because we relaxed this morning. Okay, here we go. Stop streaming.